Here is the raw reality of becoming a cloud engineer in 2026. Now, most people watching this video will never actually make it. Not because they are not smart enough, not because the opportunities aren't there, but because they are stuck in traps that they didn't even know exist. And until they know what they are and how to escape them, you will never become a six-figure cloud engineer in 2026. I'm Sulaiman. I've worked in tech for more than a decade, and today I run my own AI cloud security consultancy. Through my Cloud Engineer Academy, I've helped more than 900 IT professionals, engineers, and career switchers transition into cloud engineering and actually land roles, including at companies like AWS. In this video, I'm going to show you the 4 traps keeping you stuck, and then I'll reveal the step-by-step roadmap that actually works in 2026. But a fair warning, some of this might be uncomfortable to hear, but I'd rather tell you what you need to hear than what you want to hear. The first trap is sneaky because it feels responsible. You feel like you need the right information before you can start. You're comparing roadmaps, reading Reddit threads, watching videos, searching which is the best certification, and it feels really productive. Every video you watch feels like you're getting closer. But here is the problem. Research has become procrastination. Every hour comparing roadmaps is an hour you're not building anything. Every article is another delay before facing the uncomfortable reality of doing the actual work. And the reality that you're searching for, it doesn't come before you start, it comes after. You'll never research your way to certainty. We've helped nearly 1,000 people break into cloud engineering, and so many were stuck in research mode without even realizing it. 12 months have gone by with nothing to show for it, and at some point, enough is enough. You have to take action. Number 2 is a certification trap. This catches almost everyone because it challenges everything that you've been taught your entire life. Since you were 5 years old, you've been programmed to believe one thing: study, pass the exam, and now you're qualified. For 15 years, that's how progress worked. So when you see the AWS Solutions Architect required on LinkedIn, your brain does exactly what it's been trained to do: study, pass, get hired. So you spend 3 to 4 months grinding theory. You pass, you update your LinkedIn, you apply for jobs, and nothing. No callbacks, no interviews, and it's not your fault. You were just following the wrong playbook. That approach definitely worked in 2019, but in 2026, the rules have changed. Certifications prove that you know theory. They are not a differentiator anymore. To become a real cloud engineer, you need hands-on skills and understand how services connect directly to solve problems. The certification is where most people think the journey ends. It's actually the bare minimum. Number 3, the tutorial trap. Let's say you've made it past the first 2 traps. You stopped researching, you got certified, but understood it's not enough, so you started building projects. That's the right move, but here is where the third trap catches people. I looked at someone's portfolio last week that made me pause. 3 solid projects, clean code, good documentation, everything deployed, but something felt off. Every project answered the same question: look, I can use AWS services. None of them answered what employers actually care about. Can you solve real business problems? Beautiful execution, but zero business context. When you follow a tutorial, you learn which buttons to click and which commands to run. But when the tutorial ends, so does your understanding. You never learned why those decisions were made. You never understood the trade-offs. So when an interviewer asks you why Lambda instead of EC2, you just simply freeze. Because you didn't choose Lambda, the tutorial did. Employers want to see judgment. Can you pick the right tool and explain why? Can you work within real constraints? Can you communicate decisions to non-technical people? Those are the skills that separate people who get hired from people who just keep applying for years on end. Number 4, the lone wolf trap. This ties everything together, and it's the belief that you can figure it all out on your own. And look, I get it. There's more information available now than ever. Tutorials, documentation, ChatGPT, articles, courses. So you tell yourself you'll piece it together. Find the right combination of resources. Figure out the correct order. And technically, that's possible. Some people have done it. But you could also walk to Los Angeles if you wanted to. It's technically possible. Or you could get on a flight and be there in a few hours. Both get you to the same destination, but one is far more painful and costs you something that you never ever get back: your time. And while people think it's technically free, the do-it-yourself path is actually never free. You're just paying with a different currency. So take a moment to reflect. If you keep doing exactly what you're doing now, where will you be in a year? Are you getting any closer to becoming a cloud engineer than you were 6 months ago? Could you apply for a 6-figure cloud job tomorrow and be confident that you would get it? If the answer is no, Something obviously needs to change. Okay, now that you understand the traps, let me show you what you should do instead. Just a simple step-by-step roadmap that if you actually follow it, you'll be hired as a six-figure cloud engineer. The first thing that you need to do has nothing to do with AWS. You need to disappear. I'm serious. Monk mode is a period of time where you eliminate all distractions and focus intensely on one specific goal. In this case, becoming a cloud engineer. And right now, you're surrounded by noise. Your phone buzzes every few minutes. Social media is engineered by trillion-dollar companies to keep you scrolling. Every app on your phone is competing for a slice of your attention. And on any given day, you only have so much attention before it's all used up. Your attention is the only resource that actually matters here. You can't buy more of it, so before you learn a single service, you need to create the conditions where real learning is actually possible. Take the social media apps off your phone. Find a physical space that becomes your workspace. The world is designed to distract you, and most people let it. People think that they need more motivation or more discipline. They don't. They need fewer distractions. Going monk mode gives you uninterrupted focus, the actual ability to think deeply about complex problems. And that's getting more and more rare as every day passes. Step 2 is building your technical foundation, because it's tempting to skip straight to the advanced stuff like Kubernetes or AI. But without the foundation, you'll be completely lost the moment something breaks. Start with IT fundamentals. What's a server? An operating system. What does production actually mean? How do applications run inside real companies? Secondly, the software development lifecycle. Code doesn't magically just appear in production. It moves through a process. And as a cloud engineer, you're building the infrastructure that developers ship their code to. So you need to know this. Thirdly, and this is a big one, networking. If you don't understand networking, you will not become a great cloud engineer. IP addresses, subnets, DNS, ports, protocols, firewalls, security groups. Every architecture that you build and every system that you design involves traffic flowing between resources. Fourth, Linux and a command line. Most cloud servers run on Linux machines, which means you'll be interacting through the CLI. Learn to navigate directories, manage files, and understand permissions. Don't try to memorize every single command. Focus on understanding what you're actually trying to accomplish. And fifth, scripting. Repetitive tasks will slow you down. Checking systems, running backups, deploying updates. Learn Python to automate these tasks, as it's the most beginner-friendly coding language, as it mostly reads like English. Step 3, go deep on the AWS services that actually matter. Now, AWS has over 200 services, but the same 12 to 15 services show up in almost every single architecture. For compute, that's EC2 for virtual servers, Lambda for running code without managing any servers, and ECS or Fargate for containers. For storage, it's S3. Object storage. This is the backbone of almost every application that you work on. For databases, you'll need RDS for relational databases and DynamoDB for NoSQL. More importantly, you'll need to understand when each one makes sense and why you choose one over the other. For networking, it's VPC for your private network, which includes subnets, route tables, and gateways. Then you've got load balancers for distributing traffic across servers, and Route 53 for DNS. For security, IAM is critical, roles, policies, least privilege. Most security incidents trace back to misconfigurations here, so take it seriously. For monitoring, CloudWatch gives you logs, metrics, and alarms. CloudTrail gives you audit trails so you know who did what and when. Now, don't study these in isolation through separate tutorials. Instead, build projects that connect them together. You will always start in the AWS console as an absolute beginner, which is totally fine when you're learning and trying to understand these services. But for each project, rebuild this entire thing using infrastructure as code tools like Terraform or CloudFormation. Everything defined in code, version controlled, and repeatable. This is how real cloud environments are built. Nobody, and I mean nobody, clicks through the consoles to create production systems. You write code that describes what you want, and it creates the environment for you. Step 4, think like a business. When you're building your projects, ask yourself, why would a company pay for this? What real problem does this solve? What's the cost of not solving it? If you can't answer that, then you're just building a shiny solution for a problem that simply doesn't exist. And that's exactly what most tutorial projects are. They don't solve real problems, nor do they teach you the why behind each decision. Only the how. And here is how you should think about it. A company needs to process thousands of documents automatically, but they can't justify paying for servers running 24/7 when uploads are predictable. Now you have a real problem. Lambda makes sense as a solution, so you can explain why you chose it, and this changes everything about how you build your portfolio. Every project should answer 3 key questions. What problem were you solving? What decisions did you make and why? And what was the measurable outcome or impact? This helps your learning to think just like a business would in the real world and actually gets yourself job ready. Step 5, use your unfair advantages. The world isn't fair. There's people with less talent than you getting referrals at big tech companies. So I'm going to guess that you don't have those. Instead, leverage your domain knowledge. Whatever industry that you're coming from, you have to leverage those expertise. Healthcare, finance, whatever it might be, your domain knowledge is what makes you different. So build solutions for problems that you actually understand because you've worked there. The second advantage is one that almost nobody uses. Study other companies' disasters. We've had big outages and data leaks recently with Cloudflare and AWS. Go learn and figure out what went wrong. How did they find it? How they fixed it? So you can build that knowledge base across the board. Step 6, get in the right room. The cloud engineers who are getting hired aren't afraid to put themselves out there. They post on LinkedIn about what they are learning. They network in communities and they create a bank of proof that compounds over time. More than 90% of recruiters go on LinkedIn to find candidates, so when they find your profile and they can see that you're extremely active and building projects in public, they will just message you. If you don't exist in public and nobody knows about your skill set, then you can't be upset that nobody's reaching out to you. There is no reason why you can't post on LinkedIn every single day. Which reminds me, and believe it or not, I don't know why this is the case, but even engineers who have the right skill set are not applying for jobs. They're still chasing another certification, another project, deliberating which roles to apply for. And I have calls inside of my Cloud Engineering Academy every single week because I help people get 6-figure cloud jobs. And this is something that I want to reiterate. Once you've got the skills, you actually have to apply for jobs. I know it's not exactly rocket science, but so many people are still not doing this. Just apply, and when you do, find a hiring manager on LinkedIn, send them a 60-minute Loom video explaining who you are and a little bit more about your experience and that you've applied for the job. It literally puts you on top of the pile amongst everyone else, and give yourself a chance to do this. I've literally got IT professionals right now interviewing at AWS, and they're doing the same thing, so just copy this and you'll see the results for yourself. So yeah, there you go. I've laid out everything for you. Don't make this another video that you watch and then go back into your comfort zone. Because if the layoff hits and suddenly your job isn't guaranteed, then that comfort zone was the most dangerous place to be. Take one small step after this video and you'll be surprised by how much things compound in your favor if you do the right things. As always, I'm rooting for you. Good luck.